right, good morning, good morning. Can you guys all hear me? Thumbs up real quickly. Great. We were going to play music, except we were talking, and now we're not going to play music. So, happy Monday. Welcome, everybody. You guys can see Rebecca on the screen here. So, Rebecca Runge is with us. She's going to give a quick who she is, how long she's been in the business, and I don't know, her favorite thing about real estate. And then we're going to get started. So, we're doing powerful open houses today. So, make sure you guys are taking notes. We have a PowerPoint as well for you. If you guys need anything from us, let me know. Like I said, we will break out into breakout rooms afterwards, so make sure you stick around. If you haven't heard me say before, you can attend all the training in the world, and if you don't pick up the phone and call somebody, then you're not going to sell any houses. So we're going to do this for an hour and 15 minutes. We'll answer some questions from you guys. Please, I know you guys have all been in the Zoom room for the last week or so on Ignite. Unmute yourself, participate. We're here. And yeah, so Rebecca, you want to get started?
Good morning, everybody. I am Rebecca Runge. I have been a licensed real estate agent since 2005. I started in Florida. In 2014, I got my Ohio real estate license, and then in 15, I let the Florida real estate license lapse because I decided that if I'm going to go down to Florida, I'm just going to go down and visit the grandkids. Prior to that, my past life includes being a police officer for 25 years. I was also a family readiness unit volunteer for 5 years with the United States Marine Corps while my son did 2 tours in Afghanistan. I also have my French cuisine cooking certificate. And the best thing about real estate is getting to meet all the people like you. So I'm going to talk to you today about the open houses, and hopefully you can glimmer something new that you have never heard before. It's very odd talking to an empty room. I have to tell you that is just blowing my mind.
So you can, yes, you can see them here. Real quickly though, before we get started, hey Brian or Kelly, can one of you guys just unmute and say hi so we can make sure the speakers are working?
Hi, good morning.
All right, so Kelly, we can't hear you.
You can.
Hold on, I just want to make sure we get this right. Before we get started here.
Brian, can you hear me?
Sorry.
It's all good.
Well, you can keep talking.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
get this working.
Okay. So how many of you have never done an open house? By raise of hands, you've never done an open house, okay? I can't see
Some of
everybody.
these people got licensed in
What name?
COVID. All right, so we got a few. Morning, Ryan.
Morning.
Courtney Haynes raised her hand, so never did an open house before.
All right. So how many of you have done an open house and no one showed up? You have had nobody, okay? I got one. All right, so let's start talking about the open houses. Can we go to the next one? Yep, thank you. All right, so we're gonna cover 6 major topics. Packets, pack a punch. Coming soons. Nosy neighbors. Some assembly required. Open house guests are wise to our sleazy little tricks. And everyone loves a party. So let's go with packets, pack a punch. So good.
Now, guys, eventually we're gonna get this whole Zoom thing down. Don't you guys worry.
Okay, so packets, pack a punch. Whether or not you're going to hold an open house, this is still what I do if I'm just filling my info boxes or I'm handing information out, but I definitely have it at my open houses. So my packets are just exactly that. They are anywhere from 12 to 15 pages. The first page that I have in my packet is a lender flyer. So I get my preferred lender, and he or she does a flyer for me that says 3 or so ways of how somebody can purchase this house. So that's the first one that I have in my packet. Second, I have the MLS printout. Obviously, you're going to want the buyer with full color photos. Normally, if you have all of your pictures in, and you should have all 35 pictures in, that's going to be 4 pages. So we've got the lender flyer, we've got the MLS printout, we're already at 5 pages. Residential property disclosure, that's another 5 pages. Now we're up to 10. Lead-based paint disclosure, now we're up to 11. If you have a house that has had a lot of updates, a lot of upgrades, a lot of remodeling, and you don't have enough room in the public remarks to do it justice, then you're going to want to add a supplement. Tell the story about the property that you're trying to sell. Make sure you upload that into the supplements, but you also want to print it out so that you have it with your packet. So at this point, we're up to 12 pieces of paper. And then we have something that I call all about. That's your last piece of paper. And I always, always, always make that a different color. Pink, yellow, blue, green, orange. I want it to be a color so that it stands out. All about what, you ask? All about the community where the house is located. So you want to have the websites for the fire department, police department, the school system, Parks and Rec, Chamber of Commerce. You want to have the websites for whoever's carrying the cable and the utilities where this house is located. Anything that you can think of that you think is important that people would want to know about the house and the community where it is sitting, you want to have the website for that on your All About. Why would you do this? Anybody?
It makes you look
Anybody
like,
gonna venture a guess as to why we would want to do that?
No, I mean, Kelly's trying to over here. Kelly, why don't you just throw in the chat box? Sorry, I will get that.
It's all good.
All right, she's throwing it in the chat box now. All right, Kelly, can you talk now?
it makes you look like a pro in the area.
Love it, thank you.
Excellent, thank you. What's another reason? What's another reason? It's pretty simple. Don't stretch your brain too bad.
It's questions they're going to ask and it saves you answering them over and over again.
Exactly, that's one. And you, sir?
To completely prep the buyer to make an informed decision.
Exactly. They can sit out in front of the house. They can take one of the packets out of the info box and they have all the websites. They can sit there and stare at the house and on their smartphone, pull up all those websites. Find out what the school system is like. They can find out what is close to them as far as Parks and Rec, entertainment. That's another thing. If you've got something that particular city or area is known for, you're going to want to list that. Obviously, if you were selling a house in Cleveland one of the things you would probably want to note on your all about page is that it's the home of rock and roll. That's a big one. If you were in Circleville, Ohio, you would want to make note of the fact that that is where the Great Pumpkin Festival is every year. If there is something that the area is noted for, you're going to want to include that. Why would I include the Chamber of Commerce? What's the big deal about the Chamber of Commerce? What kind of information can you get from the Chamber of Commerce? Do you know? The Chamber of Commerce is important because it tells you what's the average mean of salary, how many people in the community are employed, unemployed, what are their race and ethnic backgrounds, what's the crime like? All of those questions that we as real estate agents have a tendency not to want to answer, or sometimes we can't answer. You can go to the Chamber of Commerce and you can get information like that. So if they have a Chamber of Commerce, it's very important that you add their website. So to recap, we've got the first responders, fire and police. We obviously want to have the school system on there. We want to have parks and rec. Possibly there's a large natatorium. Maybe you'll want to make note of that. You'll want to have the Chamber of Commerce. You'll want to have who's carrying the trash, the utilities, and the cable. And you're going to want to have any yearly events or any tourist attraction that this area is known for. Now, every time I do one of these pages, I tweak it. These are just 7 things that I came up with. You can add as many as you want. Just make sure you copy the websites down correctly. After a while, you get kind of cross-eyed when you're doing that. But that way, they can literally sit in their car, pull up their smartphone, go to that website, and find out what they want to know. It is a tremendous, tremendous tool. And I'll tell you, nobody else is doing it. They just aren't. Coming soon are going to offer you the greatest opportunity to make the most of an open house. I tell my sellers, I'm not going to have an open house. I am having an event. And it is an event. If you have a listing and you put it under coming soon, you have at least 14 days to plan your event. Because in that 14 days, obviously, you know, nobody can show the house. So you have all the time in the world to get prepared and get an awesome open house put together. How might you do that? You want to announce to the entire neighborhood that you have a new listing. How might you do that? Anybody?
Door
Go ahead.
knocking.
Pardon me?
Door knocking.
Door knocking,
Circle prospecting.
circle prospecting. What are you going to do with your door knocking?
Invite them.
Invite them. What might you give them?
The all about page.
Your packet, the entire packet. That's right. So get your steps in. Get your steps in. The first thing you do after you have it on the MLS is coming soon. You get your packet together, and then you put on your Fitbit and you do 1 block to the left of the house one block to the right of the house, and you match your steps on the houses across the street. Take your packets, knock on the door, and say, I promised my seller I would let everybody in the neighborhood know that their house is up for sale. I want to give you the information because I know that neighbors like to pick who their new neighbors are going to be. I know that you know someone who is looking for a house. You can get a lot of conversation going with that neighbor. You may come to find out that they're thinking about selling themselves. And if they are now going to watch and see how well you do with this property. They're going to watch. If you do well, they're going to call you for your next listing. That's how you become the neighborhood real estate agent. So that's one way. The other way is I write personal invitations to everyone in the allotment, in the development. Everybody gets a personal invitation. Now, I don't write the invitations. I have those typed out on my letterhead stationery. And I explain to them that 123 Main Street is going active on the market on Friday, May 21st. And that I am holding a Curious Neighbors open house on Sunday, May 23rd from 12:30 to 1 p.m. And then the public is going to be invited to attend their open house Sunday, May 23rd from 1 to 3 p.m. Why would I put that? Why would I do that? Why would I put that in the invitations? Anybody?
It shows, I'm sorry, this is Courtney. It shows that, I guess that you're putting them above just the general public, that they're special, that you want to keep them in their neighborhood.
You want to keep them in the loop. They're informed.
Yeah.
They're going to get first shot at looking at the house. They think that they are special, that you have made them stand out in a good way. You know the neighbors are going to show up anyway. They're going to show up anyway. So the invitations go on to say that from 12:30 to 1, the Curious Neighbors are welcome to attend the open house, especially for them from 12:30 to 1. I'm going to have food and beverage. I'm going to have prizes and giveaways. And I'm going to have information on the property. And if they have somebody they would like to bring with them, by all means, please include them when they come from 12:30 to 1. When I type out that invitation, I then make that my first page of my packet. So I have just added another page to my packet, so that all the neighbors know exactly what time, where, what day this open house is going to be, and what they can expect when they get there. And they get the royal treatment when they come. They get the same food, they get the same beverage. We have giveaways and we have prizes. Does anybody have any questions about that so far? Any input, any suggestions? Come on, there's only like 8 of us. We've got to have conversation here somewhere.
What kind of giveaways do you do?
I'm sorry.
What kind of like giveaways or prizes have you found to be well received?
I'm gonna get to that, but I will answer it in part right now. You would be surprised what people will show up for as far as prizes and giveaways are. Now, if you're gonna have something major as a giveaway, I would put that in your letter, your invitation. I will give you an example. I had an open house in North Canton, and there was no doubt that that house was going to go quickly, and multiple offers. I offered 2 giveaways. One for the neighbors from 12:30 to 1, and one for the public from 1 to 3. My giveaway was 3 hours of free cleaning by maid service. That was the giveaway. And I made sure that the neighbors, again, the neighbors know that somebody out of the neighborhood is going to get that cleaning service for 3 hours for free. And then somebody from the general public from 1 to 3 is going to get the exact same giveaway. I have to tell you, that was a huge draw. You want to know what's funny? I had 2 winners and neither one of them claimed their prize. Now, do I care? No. I had a giveaway. I had people who were chosen who won the prize. They were notified a couple of different ways, and nobody ever called the cleaning service to schedule their 3 hours of free cleaning. Not either one of them. That said, did I get to put on my Facebook page that we had 2 giveaways and there were 2 winners that each won a 3-hour free cleaning service to come in? And it happened to be in May, so it was spring cleaning. Do I have to tell anybody that neither one of them claimed the prize? No, they didn't need to know that. It was spectacular. I got all kinds of hits and likes, and that's wonderful. Ooh, let me know when you're going to do another open house. I'm sorry I missed this one. I wanted a free cleaning. I got mileage out of that. Huge mileage. So anything you can think of, you can raffle off, you can give away, anything. It's getting to be a time where they're going to have a lot of vendor fairs with arts and crafts. I don't know if any of you go to those things, but they're going to have silk flower arrangements. They're going to have cute little lamps. They're going to have, blankets. They're going to have wooden shelving. You can auction anything off. You can raffle, not raffle, raffle's the incorrect word. You can do a prize drawing, not a raffle. A prize drawing for anything. People love to win. The only thing I do not ever give away as a prize is alcohol. Never. Never, never, never. Alcohol is a bad thing. I don't want to be responsible for the person winning the bottle of wine not being of age. I don't want to be responsible for giving away a bottle of wine at an open house, and it happens to go to somebody who has been clean and sober for a month, and they decide that because they won this bottle, it's too much of a temptation and they break their sobriety. These are all these things that I think of. So I never ever raffle off, auction off, those aren't the right words, give away any alcohol, ever, ever. Let's talk for a minute about the placement of your signs at an open house. If you're gonna have an open house on a Saturday, you're going to want your open house signs out by Wednesday. If you have an open house on a Sunday, you're gonna want the signs out by Thursday. If you put them out any sooner than that, nobody's going to remember that. They're gonna drive by that house and they're gonna go, oh yeah, there's an open house. Oh yeah, there's an open house. I know people who have gone out the Monday before their open house on a Sunday and they put the signs out. My goodness, by Friday, people already don't even see those signs anymore because they've been there for so long. So Saturdays, you should have your signs out by Wednesday. Sunday, you need to have your signs out by Thursday. I don't mean just put a sign on the front yard. If at all possible, you're going to want directionals at the corners, so that if people are coming in either direction into the development, they still see that Keller Williams is having an open house pointed this way. You have any questions?
I guess I have one question. The signs that we have, like, what if they don't have a date on them? If they don't say that the open house is on Saturday, what would you do for that? Like, if we're putting them out on Wednesday with directionals, is that okay? Should we put something in the front yard that says it's on Saturday?
I do.
Okay.
I'm glad that you pointed that out because I come from a brokerage where the signs were a little different.
Okay.
So I just had an open house, and yes, I went and got open house signs on with directionals, and I put Sunday 1 to 3 p.m. Everywhere I had a Keller Williams open house sign, I had a directional pointing whichever way it needed to point with Sunday 1 to 3 p.m. You only have to make those once. They last a long time. Or I'm sure that you can get signs printed up. If you like a particular time frame, you can get signs printed up that say open house Sunday 1 to 3 p.m. Since we're talking about that, let's talk about Saturday and Sunday open houses. I have not had a great deal of success with a Saturday open house because what it ends up happening is people are trying to get ready for the upcoming week, grocery shopping, laundry, the kids have sports. Saturday open houses, historically for me, are just not very well attended. Sunday, on the other hand, Sunday open houses, historically for me, are extremely well attended. Now you'll see open house signs, Sunday 12:30 to 2:30, 1 to 3, 2 to 4. I find that if you don't give them a lot of time between church and the open house, you get more people to show up. If they're in church and they don't get out of church until 11 or 11:30, they have time to go to lunch. Maybe they go home, get lunch, change their clothes, and by 1 o'clock, they're at the open house. If you go till 2 o'clock, if you wait to start your open house until 2 o'clock, they've got time to change their mind. They have time to get comfortable at home and start watching a movie. They've got time to decide, nah, they didn't really want to see the house. Maybe they should go weed the garden or something like that. So one day on Sundays from 1 to 3, that has been absolutely the best time I have found to have an open house. Hands down. The other thing I want to go back to about the Curious Neighbors open house. You have the general public coming from 1 to 3, and they'll start showing up 1:45, 1 o'clock. They get there and there's already a multitude of people coming and going from your open house. Especially in this market, as soon as they see that many people coming in and out of the house, they start getting all frantic. Oh my goodness, I need to get inside. They're gonna have offers on this property before I even get a chance to view it. I've got to get in the house. I have to get in the house right now. Hurry, hurry, hurry. So it works out so well in so many ways for you to do that, that you'll be amazed, and you will have a lot of offers. You will. Any questions thus far?
We have one more question in the chat.
Okay.
Do you always ask the owner of the property before placing a sign in their yard? Or I guess, is it just assumed that you will be? Maybe
It's in our contract that a sign will go in the yard. It's in the listing agreement, as I recall. I only ask if I know for sure I'm in some kind of a condo association or a homeowners association. And at that point, I'll say, are signs permitted? There are many that signs are not permitted in the yard, and then you're going to have to adapt and overcome and put them in a window if that's allowed. Good question. You aren't always allowed to put a sign in the yard. That's an excellent question. Ask for the condo docs, ask for the homeowners association docs. You're going to want those anyway because you're going to want to put those documents in the MLS as a supplement, so that any potential buyer can read them and know whether or not they even want to consider looking at that property. Maybe the homeowners association, or more to the point, the condo association, doesn't allow you to have more than one dog over 25 pounds, and your baby is a 70-pound golden retriever. Obviously, you're not giving up your dog to move to the condo, so that's going to be one place you're going to scratch from your list to go take a look at. So always get the condo docs, always get the association docs, and put them in the supplements on your listing, so that people know exactly what's going on at that location before they ever get there. Did you have a question? Somebody else have a question?
Yeah, we have one more. Do you need permission to place a sign on like the street corners?
Not if you're in the swale. If you find that you are actually going to need to use another homeowner's property, then absolutely. You're going to have to go knock on the door and ask, I'm only having this open house. The sign's going to be here from Wednesday till Saturday or Thursday till Sunday. I promise I will gather the sign after the open house. Do I have your permission to use this tiny corner of your yard for my signs? If they say no, find another neighbor. Any other questions? Okay, perfect. All right, some assembly required. You're going to want to reach out to your real estate partners and get some help with this event. So who do you reach out to? You reach out to your preferred lenders, your home warranty providers. I have a list there for you. Inspectors, title company, pest control. Again, the possibilities are endless. But there's a couple of reasons why you're going to want to reach out to your real estate partners. First of all, first and foremost, do not ever do an open house alone. Never. Never do an open house alone. It's not safe. It doesn't make good sense. And there's no reason for you to do it alone. Now, one of my selling points when I take a listing is I tell my sellers, when I have my open house event, I'm going to bring a lender with me. And they look at me and go, okay. And I say, I always bring my lender with me because if we have somebody that just happens to see the open house sign, hadn't really thought about buying a house, but really loved the way the house looks, and they decide to stop in, one of the questions my lender is going to ask the guests that come through is, have you talked to anybody about being financed? Are you ready to go? If you find a house that you really think is the one you want. If they have not been pre-approved, either my lender or myself, I have my laptop there, he or she has his laptop there, we bring our own hotspot, and my lender can literally pre-approve them on the spot at the open house. I can tell you that when you tell your sellers that that's the kind of thing that you do, you get major points. Because basically, if they are looking at a $325,000 house and they're only pre-approved for $150,000 or $175,000, they're not going to stick around very long. Tire kickers are going to go back home. And they're going to look for a house that they can afford. Then again, you've got a buyer who is unrepresented, just got pre-approved, you may end up having both ends of the deal. Which is a nice paycheck because that means you get the hot dogs with the macaroni and cheese that night. So I always take a lender, and I have since broadened my horizons. And like I told you before, I tweak this all the time. Some title companies will send somebody. There's really not a whole lot that they can say because normally they don't get a say in who's going to pick them as the title company. But you do have title company personnel who will come out, especially if they're in-house. But the home warranty providers are another huge hit because you know those folks can plug a home warranty even if nobody's going to buy or sell that house. They can plug their home warranties and still get business. You could go to my open house any day, and if I have a home warranty provider there, she's going to talk to, or he's going to talk to all the people that come and go and ask them if they have a home warranty. Do they even know what that is? Do they know what it could provide for them? And they get business that way. If you've got somebody who has had their house remodeled lately, you know, I know that that remodeling company would probably be more than happy to give you an agent from that company to stand around and tell everybody what they did and what they could do in their house. Same way if they've just had the house completely landscaped, you've got your cleaning services. If I offer cleaning services, and I have since that day, I have offered free cleaning services. If I've got free cleaning services offered as a giveaway at a particular open house, I allow them to come. One person can come and they can hand out their brochures and their business cards. You can have as many people, you can have as many of your real estate partners at an open house that you want. They don't have to stay for the entire 2 hours. You could have them, you know, take 30-minute intervals if you wanted. I would want the lender there for the full 2 hours. But they could come in 30-minute intervals if they wanted to.
Do you ask them to like sponsor the lunch or anything?
I'm getting to that.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I'm gonna get to that. So I have given you ideas on this slide of who you can ask. Don't hesitate. And again, now you've got more people in the house, especially when the house is still being lived in. The more eyes you have on what those guests are doing, the better off you are. Questions yet? Okay. All right, so what do you need your real estate partners to do? Why do you need them? Well, you want them to contribute. And the first thing you want them to contribute is themselves. You want them to show up. You want them to be there. Now, short story, I had a lender at my past brokerage. They were in-home lenders. I'm sorry, they were our in-house lender. And he was supposed to be at a Sunday open house with me. Friday, he comes to me and says, Rebecca, here are the flyers for the open house on Sunday. That was my first clue. Why are you giving me these flyers on a Friday when you're going to come to the open house on a Sunday anyway? Sunday comes, I have no lender. And it was just going to be him and me at the open house. So now I am at the open house all by myself and my lender hasn't shown up. I call him. Hey, you were supposed to be here as my lender for this open house. He goes, you know what, Rebecca? I've got a family. You know, I can do this from home. If you have somebody that shows up at the open house and they're not pre-qualified and they want to be pre-qualified, I'm home here, I can pull it up on my computer and I can do it over the telephone. Okay, he was dead to me after that. I have no patience for that sort of thing. You give me your word, I expect you to be there. I have family too. But we all have jobs to do, and that's what you agreed to do with me. So if you have a lender or anyone else who says, you know what, really love to, but I got family and you're taking my time away from them, okay, then you just don't need them. And if you have somebody do a no-show, write them off. You only need to get burned once, not twice. So you want them to physically show up at your open house. Number two, if you're going to offer food and beverage, and I do recommend that you do, you're going to want them to share in that expense. So food and beverage, you're going to want the plates, the plastic utensils, the napkins, the cups, ice if appropriate. Now, obviously, I don't go all out for every single open house that I hold. If I'm holding an open house at a $70,000 house, and I do, I don't have $30 worth of small sandwiches, potato chips, fruit, assorted pop and water. Obviously, I don't do that. I have cookies, I have water, I have pop, something like that. But I don't want to pay for all that myself. If I've got partners coming, everybody can contribute. And here's another thing. If you have a partner, normally it's the lender that says, I'll be happy to show up at your open house and stand there or sit there with you on Sunday, but my budget's all used up for the year. It's already spread out. I'm sorry, I can't contribute. Move on to somebody else. Move on to somebody else. If that lender is so strapped for finances that they can't pick up some cookies at Giant Eagle and bring them with them to the open house, you don't need them. The other thing you want from your partners is you're going to want tchotchkes. Anybody know what a tchotchke is? Come on, tchotchke. Anybody?
Kelly's like shaking her head.
Shaking your head, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Tchotchkes are those little trinkets that real estate agent, lenders, everybody gives out. Whether it is hand sanitizer with their logo on it, whether it's a pen, whether it's a pad of paper, whether it's a coffee mug, a keychain, that is a tchotchke. And you want them to bring their tchotchkes. And I'll tell you why here in a little bit. You're going to want them obviously to bring their business cards and their flyers. And you're going to want them to contribute to your prizes and giveaways. You know, we're starving real estate agents. We can't afford all of this. This is a partnership. That's why they're partners. Everybody needs to contribute. I will put a little side note in here that if you have a home or you know somebody that you can borrow one, a Keurig, those are worth their weight in gold at an open house. Because you can make coffee, you can make hot cocoa, and you can make tea. Simply by filling that with water. So if you have a Keurig, obviously you're going to want to remember to have stir sticks, creamer, and sugar. Now, I've had lenders come and they've brought me, those are not cheap, by the way. If you have a package of K-cups, they're like $10 or better. So if you only have somebody comes in and only 2 cups of coffee are made, and the lender says to you, I have a Keurig, I'm going to take the rest of the coffee home, take it. I just wanted to make sure I had it at the open house. You know, if they have an abundance of paper plates left and they brought the plates, the napkins, and the cups, and they have been, you know, we have a ton left, they can take them back home. I'm not going to hold them hostage. Some of my lenders go, pack it up, take it home, I'll see you at the next one. Okay, that's what I do. While we're talking about things that need to be contributed, what about COVID? I don't think, I was just talking to Michael and Danielle about this morning. I have a sneaking suspicion that whether masks are no longer required or whatever happens with all of that, I think that we're probably going to be looking at masks, certainly booties, maybe latex gloves, certainly hand sanitizer at our open houses and our showings for a long time to come. I just don't see masks and hand sanitizer and booties going away anytime soon. So what about COVID? You'll notice I have booties, masks, latex gloves, hand sanitizer, and brown sandwich bags. Anybody want to venture a guess what I need with the brown sandwich bags?
You put all of those things in the sandwich bag, so then you can just hand it. So you're not handing individual like items to the people. You're just handing them the full bag.
That's an excellent idea. That's an excellent idea, and you can run yours that way. Here's what I do. I have the booties, the hand sanitizer, the latex gloves, the masks if they have failed to bring one. And when they are all done with their open house or they are all done at my showings, they get a brown lunch bag. They put all that nasty stuff in the brown lunch bag and they take it with them. Because my seller doesn't want that stuff in their house. So at my showings, when I have showings set up, I have hand sanitizer, masks, latex gloves, booties. And at the end, I'll say, please put them, when you're finished, please put your items in the brown lunch bag and take it with you and dispose of it at your leisure. My seller is extremely happy. My sellers have been extremely happy with that idea. So they don't come home to find a trash bag, their trash bag filled with this stuff, not knowing who was in their house or what they may or may not have had. So that's the other kind of stuff that you ask for your real estate partners to contribute. There's no reason for you to bear all of this expense yourself, especially not when you're starting out. The other thing you're going to want to ask your partners for is possibly some signage. Now, your home warranty company, more frequently than not, I'm sure they all have some kind of sign you can put in the yard about the warranty being offered with the house. You might want them to contribute, I don't know if you can see it very well. You get these at Staples or, geez, just about any place these days. But nevertheless, they're $8. So what I do is I have one of these sitting on the counter with the booties, the mask, the latex gloves, etc. And I say, these items are here for your use. I enumerate them. When you're finished with the showing, please take a brown paper bag, put your used items in the brown paper bag, and take it with you. When you're starting out, if you have to go buy 3 or 4 of these, yeah, that might be kind of tough. A lot of your partners may have these laying around. They may already have them. Have them bring it so that you can use it. The other thing I do with these is, and I often look to the lender, when they make my lender flyer, I will put one in this plastic frame and I'll sit it in a prominent place at the house that I'm selling. Kitchen table, kitchen counter, dining room table, something like that. Everything you need for these open houses and or your showings is going to cost you money. You might as well get some help. Anybody have any questions? Nobody? Because she left, so I can't see if there's anything in the chat box or not.
Yeah, I have a question. If you're holding open, open house for another agent, are you and that agent, I guess, collaborating on all of this? Is that agent also, chipping in their money? Like, how does all of that work?
That's going to have to be between you and the listing agent. You're going to have to ask. Now, after all this time, I have a surplus of booties, hand sanitizer, masks. So I'm not concerned about that. And I will either, if you're doing my open house, I'll either take it to the house or I'll meet up with you and give you my supply. When the open house is done, I'll go back and pick it up, or I'll meet up with you and I'll get whatever's left back from it. But that's going to be between you and the listing agent. The other thing is, you're going to, just because it's not your house doesn't mean you cannot put on an open house event. When I have somebody doing my open houses, I tell them, here's my preferred lender. Get a hold of my preferred lender who is collaborating with me on this house, and let them put your information on the flyer for that day. If you're going to have somebody who is willing to do an open house for you, you've got to throw them some perks to this. They get to hand out their business cards. They're on the flyer for that day. I give them whatever extras I have. A lot of times, the new agents don't have signage. I say, you'll do the open house, I've got plenty of signage, I'll even go put it out for you. But that's something that you have to discuss with the listing agent. On the reverse side, if you are the listing agent and somebody is doing an open house for you, you need to make it abundantly clear what you expect from that agent. At the very least, make sure it's articulated in an email. If the open house is going, if you're not having a nosy neighbors open house, if you're just having an open house from 1 to 3, minimum you want the agent who's doing the open house for you, minimum, they need to be there at 12:45. And since almost every single house I have, every single listing I have is on a Supra, it's not like they can tell me I got there at 12:45 because I can see from the Supra notification to my phone that they showed up at 1:10. So you need to make it real clear when you're the listing agent what you expect of the person who is doing the open house on your behalf, because it isn't going to reflect on that person. It's going to reflect on you and your business. So if you've been advertising that you're holding an open house from 1 to 1:30, and the agent who's doing your open house doesn't show up until 1:10, 1:15, 1:20, and I've had that happen, they're not going to say Susie Q didn't show up on time. They're going to say Rebecca Runge was supposed to have this open house from 1 to 3. Shoot, she never even showed up till 1:20. That sends all the wrong messages. So if you're going to commit to doing an open house for an agent, for a listing agent, come on, be professional. If you are the listing agent and you are having somebody do an open house for you, make sure that they understand exactly what's expected of them, that there are no surprises. Have that talk. Okay? All right, open house guests are wise to our little tricks. I don't know for those of you who have had open houses lately, but I am personally finding that the guests are less and less excited about filling out my sign-in sheet. They may give you your name, the name, but they don't want to give you a phone number. They don't want to give you their email address. And I'll say, I just need to know who was here. I want to follow up with you. And they go, yeah, exactly. And I don't want to hear from you. I have your card. If I have any questions about the house, if I decide I want to submit an offer, I can get a hold of you. You don't need to get a hold of me. All right, fine. So now it's time to think outside the box. That's when I started doing the prizes and the giveaways, because everybody wants to win. So I don't even bother with the sign-in sheet anymore. They are not present at my open houses. I have index cards and pens. I have the prize that I'm giving away, or the certificate that of cleaning or whatever that I'm giving away. And they have to write down their name, their address, their phone number, and their email address. Why? Because I want to be able to reach them a number of ways. And people will give you that information if they want to win a prize. No questions asked. They don't even realize they're giving you the exact information that you wanted on the sign-in sheet. They're giving it to you, but now it's all about the prize. And when they're filling out the index card, I tell them, don't write like a doctor. I need to be able to read. So you need to write legibly all of the information I have asked for so that I can contact you to let you know that you have won this prize. When you have the winners, you also have a possible photo op. Obviously with their permission, but if you have something to give away right there that day that they have won, you can take it outside in front of the house that you have listed. Do it in front of your sign. Have somebody take a picture and put it on your Facebook. Mary S. of Heathcliff Development won this 3 hours of free cleaning when she attended my open house today at 123 Main Street. You'll get a lot of hits, you'll get a lot of likes, you'll get a lot of comments on Facebook about how awesome that is, and they want to come to your next open house. We good? We have questions? Okay. Dollar Tree is your friend. From the day that Michael Rapaski signed me on here, I kept telling him, Dollar Tree is your friend. No, I do not own stock in Dollar Tree. But let me show you what I do. When I have an open house event, everybody leaves with a partying gift. So here I go. You go to Dollar Tree, you can get 2 bags for $1. 2 paper bags for $1. And I fill it. My partners help me fill it with their tchotchkes and their business cards. So I always have something in the bag that would be used in a home. So for $1, I got 8 dishwash sponges. For $1, I have 10 scouring pads. So here's 8 bags, here's 10 bags. For $1, I got 6 magnets that can be used as chip clips or magnets. I got 8 small Kleenex that you can put in your purse, your backpack, your car for $1. I got 2 hand sanitizers for $1. I have 12 lens wipes for $1. Doesn't make any difference if you wear glasses or not. You still need to clean your sunglasses. All of these things are what I choose to put in my bags. I like to get these plastic tumblers. You get 3 of them for $1. And then whatever else I'm putting in the bag, I try to put it in the tumbler. Just keeps it a little better organized. I was mad at myself that I walked off without my milk bone because I put something in for their house. I put something in for the children, which I'll show you, and I put something in for the dog. I usually get the big milk bones, and I don't scrimp on that, so I don't buy those at the Dollar Tree. I go and get milk bone because it says milk bone. Everybody recognizes that name. And I get the big ones. So if they have a big dog, great. If they have a small dog, so they break it up. The point is, you think about everybody in the house. Hey, cats eat milk bones too. So what do I do for the kids? Well, it depends upon the time of year. Now, it just so happened that yesterday when I went, I got 8 miniature Play-Doh containers. I would put 1 in every bag, whether they have kids coming with them or not. I've got 3 bubbles for $1. Put 1 in every bag, if that's what I was doing. you can get, if you go to the Dollar Tree and you watch, right now I have 8 of those bracelets that you crack and they light up. You know what I'm talking about? Like glow sticks. I have 8 of them for $1. I also got 6 jet airplanes, plastic airplanes. Cheap, but kids like that kind of stuff. And if it keeps them quiet at the open house, all the better. I got 14 balloons for $1. I put those in. I have 7 mustaches. You know what's great about these? It keeps them quiet because they have to hold them there with their teeth. Nobody laughed. Okay. I also got 2 little girl masks and 2 little boy masks for $1. Now, do I really care if the kid has a mask on or not? No. But they've got cute little, oh gosh, this has airplanes. These are fighter planes, and these are, I don't know, Cinderella or something. My goodness, the kids will use them just because they're cute. If you decide that you want to go a little bit bigger, or if it is a more expensive house that you really want to show off your best side, you can do something like this. You're going to go, well, that is going to cost me a fortune. Are you kidding me? Having those printed up? Well, let me tell you how I do this. I go on Wish. It's an app called Wish. You can get these things, these bags, in a multitude of colors, along with a lot of other things. For, if you watch careful, you can get them for like 63 cents a piece. Do I take this to one of those places that does this for a living? No, I don't. I have a girlfriend who has a Cricut. She puts these on for me. Much cheaper. Much cheaper. I pay her for the vinyl. Danielle's got a Cricut. It's vinyl, right? Vinyl.
Yeah.
I pay her for the vinyl. She charges me a couple bucks for the time, and she prints those up for me. And I'll tell you what's cool about that. You can find somebody that has a Cricut. You can give them a multitude of things that are different sizes. And it's not going to cost you. Nobody has to have the one pattern. You know, like when you have t-shirts done, they want the pattern and they want to keep it that way. And they're going to charge you the same thing for everything. Well, that's not the way it is, because if I decide to do a bag half this size, she doesn't have to use this much vinyl. So that might be something you want to look at. Lastly, I didn't think of this myself. It just happened one day. I was having an open house event, and for whatever reason, that particular day, we had a ton of children. They were running around the house. It was pre-COVID. So I have grandkids. I happen to have some sidewalk chalk in my car. I got on the phone, I called my seller, and I said, hey, the open house is going really, really well, but for whatever reason, we've got a multitude of children here today. Would it be okay if I gave the kids the sidewalk chalk and let them go out and draw on the back patio while the parents are walking through the house? Not a problem, they said. We'll hose it off with a garden hose when we get home. Well, that's exactly what I did. Now, did I leave them out there to their own device? I did not. I asked one of the parents to stay out with their child. One could look at the house, one could entertain their child. It worked out beautifully. It worked out beautifully. I have also taken brown wrapping paper, just a plain brown wrapping paper, kind of looks like grocery bags, only it's in a roll. And I have masking taped it on to a kitchen table, maybe a coffee table, and let the kids draw on it with coloring, with crayons. If it keeps them quiet and it lets the parents look, it's worth it. So that's an idea. The last thing I do with my bags is I have a letter inside thanking them for coming to my open house. So it says something along the line of, dear guest, thank you for coming to my open house today at 123 Main Street. Really appreciate you taking your time. Is this the house of your dreams? If so, please contact me and let's discuss it. If this house is not exactly what you were looking for, again, please contact me and we'll talk about the needs and wants in your new home. And they have all my contact information because it's on my letterhead stationery. At the bottom of my letterhead stationery, it has the disclaimer that if they're working with another real estate agent, I'm not trying to steal their client. Just disregard. But that's in every bag. So total this up. If you have a red paper bag, you can put a sticker on this bag that looks exactly like your business card. Just go get the stickers. Danielle, could you help them with that? Tell them how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can order stickers on Canva, Vistaprint. You have a lot of different options. Vistaprint's pretty cheap, and it's going to be the cheapest one.
Okay.
But
So-
we got them for, we did them for like our pie giveaway, and it was so easy. It just comes on a roll.
Yeah,
Totally
it's
doable.
awesome. So you peel and stick a sticker on your bag that looks just like your business card. So now that's one. There you go. That's one. Those people know who you are. One way, they've got it on the outside of the bag. Number two, they have it in the packet because your flyer with your lender has your information on it. The MLS printout has your information on it. Your All About page has your information on it. So you've got the bag, you've got the flyer, your packet. I'm sorry, your packet. Number three, you're going to put your business card in the bag. You're still going to put your business card in the bag. I always put two. So now there's three ways that they're going home with your information. 4, you wrote your thank you letter for showing up at your open house on your letterhead. They now have your name and all of your information 4 different ways. Do you think they're going to remember who did the open house and where? They are. Questions? When you have an open house, it's your opportunity to build relationships with your sellers, with your real estate partners, and with any potential buyer that happens to come into your open house event. These events are made to make you stand out and be different than the other real estate agents, because I guarantee you, I don't know how many I have here in the class today. I would be surprised if 2 of you did any of this. It's just the nature of the beast. If you do some of it, you're going to get more business. If you do more of it, you're going to get more business. Think outside the box, but always be you. Hone in your people skills. Always be yourself. Be genuine. people are going to pick up on that immediately. So going back to one of the first slides that we had that kind of got skimmed over, which is fine. Fact or fiction? Do open houses sell houses? They do. They do. If you take the time and the effort to make an event, you can do it on the cheap. Because you're going to reach out to your partners and you're going to get some help. Are you going to stand out from the other realtors? You absolutely are. You absolutely are. When people leave my open house events, they're walking out with a 12-page packet and a goodie bag. They look like they've been to a birthday party. Everybody smiles, everybody's happy. And here's the last thing I'm going to tell you. When you have a packet that is that many pages, when they get to the car, it isn't going to end up on the floorboard or tossed in the back seat if you just had one piece of paper. And when my guests leave my open house, I try to get to the door. If I can't, one of my partners gets to the door, and I will say to them, how did you like the house? What'd you think? Well, it's too big. Well, I really wanted 4 bedrooms. Okay, well, thank you very much for your feedback. And then I don't ask them. I tell them. I know that you know somebody who's looking for a house. Yeah. Would you please give them this packet? Maybe they'd be interested in this house. Yes, I will do that for you. They never argue. They never argue. You'd be surprised how many phone calls I get, either from a prospective client or from another agent who says, my mother's sister's barber was at your open house on Sunday, and they got this packet, and now I have a buyer that would like to go see this house. And I schedule it today from 3 to 4. Do we have any questions? Fire away. I'm here to help.
Is this what you 100% focus on? It sounds like you have your whole system down. This is your main mode of generation.
I got to tell you something. I had, Mother's Day. We all know how crappy that was. I don't know about you all, but I had snow at my house. I'm clear out in Carroll County. And I am doing an open house at a cabin, a summer cabin. When I pictured doing an open house on Mother's Day in a cabin overlooking the lake, I did not picture snow and the monsoon that transpired all that day. I had written there were 40 cabins, 38 cabins on this particular lake. I wrote an invitation to every single person who had a cabin on that lake and asked them to come to my open house. 1 o'clock came. Now, mind you, it's an hour and 15 minutes just for me to get there. And I am mad. I'm mad at myself. I'm griping the entire way there. I'm on the phone with people going, I can't believe this happened to me. I'm going to sit there all by myself. Nothing's going to happen today. 1 o'clock came, and I was so busy. I was there until 4:15. 4:15. Multiple offer situation by Monday morning. I'm telling you, if you send out those invitations and you invite people to come, they will, especially in this day and age. I had multiple offers on a summer cabin for $80,000. And the people that came stayed. I'll tell you the honest to God's truth, I didn't even have food or water there. I didn't have anything but the handout, the packet. That's all I had. I has convinced myself that it was all for naught. Boy, was I surprised. I almost ran out of packets. That's how many people went through. So never underestimate the power of what you can do if you only do a couple of these things. How much business you'll get will be a surprise to you. Not only that, there was another house, another cabin up for sale at this particular development. The owners of that property walked down and said, why didn't my agent do this? My house has been on the market for 23 days. We haven't had an offer yet. I guess you just got the wrong agent. I even called that agent and asked if they wanted to do an open house on the same day at the same time so that we could double our people through. I was told it's Mother's Day. What's wrong with you? I didn't tell that cabin owner that. I didn't start that little can of worms. But I told the agent, I said, I'm a mom. I can celebrate after 3 o'clock. Doesn't make any difference to me. Well, now I hear through the grapevine that there's going to be 3 or 4 other cabins that are coming up for sale here in the next little bit. What do you suppose I've done?
Relationship already.
And what else did I do? I've gotten carpal tunnel because I am now in the process of writing those 40 people again saying, hi, I am the realtor for 669 West Main Street in Stony Lake. I put the house on the market May 3rd. I held an open house on May 9th. And on May 10th, my seller found herself in a multiple offer situation. Are you thinking about selling your property at Stony Lake? If you are, give me a call. And blah, blah, blah. Those are all handwritten. And I'm sending them out. Because as I'm told from that experience on Sunday, nobody has ever held an open house at a cabin, ever. Nor did they expect me to go through with it because the weather was so bad. Well, I showed them. And I hope to have more business as a direct result. I hope this has helped.
We have one more question.
Yes.
How often are you hosting open houses typically?
Every listing, I get a listing, I have an open house.
That weekend? Like how do you?
Okay, so what I do, I am a big proponent of coming soon. So I have the coming soon such that I make the house active on Friday. If it's occupied, they have to have a 24-hour notice. I do that deliberately because it comes active on a Friday, so nobody can possibly get into the house until Saturday. And then I have the open house on that Sunday. The place is a parking lot. The place is a parking lot. Now, this last time that I had a house like that, coming soon, so everybody started scheduling it as soon as they could, because you can schedule a showing and coming soon. So it went active on Friday, gave them 24 hours. They loaded up Saturday. I had a showing every 30 minutes. I ended up having 22 showings that day. 22 showings. Had 4 offers. And if you've been in the business especially right now, this won't be shocking to you. The offer that won was a cash offer, cash, $25,000 over ask price. Cash offer, no appraisal. Whoop, whoop. What did I do after that? I wrote everybody on the block a personal letter. And I said, house went on the market this day. I had 22 showings this day. We had multiple offers, all over asking price, which is true. And the offer that was accepted is well over list price. Are you thinking about selling your house? I just sent those cards out so you can tell I've got carpal tunnel. It's a good thing I have good penmanship. This is what I do. I make phone calls and I write letters. And that has been very good to me.
So that you kind of just answered this, but do you find that handwritten notes work better than calling?
I do both. Here's my thing. I stalk for sale by owners. Rumor has it that I had to leave Florida because of a restraining order from stalking the for sale by owners in Florida. That's not true. But I stalk for sale by owners. That is better than any video game on this planet. When I see a for sale by owner, I do not automatically call them. I write them a personal note. I put it in the mail. I give it the appropriate time for them to get that note, and then I make the phone call. What do you suppose the first words out of their mouth is? Hi, this is Rebecca Runge with Keller Williams. You're the seller. You're the FSBO. What do you say to me?
I received your letter.
I received that nice note that you wrote me. I know who you are. And then they'll talk to me. And they're nice. So I do both, but I just do them backwards, probably from what you think. Now, on the same token, if I do call a for sale by owner for some reason, like, wow, I need to get on this immediately. And let's say that they get all mad and bent out of shape, and sometimes they do. And, you know, I'm selling this for sale by owner for a reason. Don't you understand that? You know, click buzz. I immediately write a nice note. And I thank them for that wonderful discussion that we had about your property today. And if you change your mind and decide that you would like to be represented by a real estate agent, please think of me. And I send it off in the mail. And I give it a week or so, and I make sure they're still for sale by owner, and then I call. Hi, you're going to be my FSBO again. Hi, this is Rebecca Runge, Keller Williams. How are you today?
I'm doing well, doing well.
We had a conversation about a week ago, and you made it clear that you wanted to be a for sale by owner. And what do you suppose they say next?
I'd be open to hearing what you have to say.
And I am sorry
I'm sorry.
that I acted so disrespectfully. I was having a bad day. You were the 9th real estate agent that called me. I had a hangover, whatever their excuse is, you take it, you accept it. Hey, I understand that happens to everybody. But that's a for sale by owner thing. So, any other questions on open houses?
We're good.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.